fuck this shit, I'm not doing this anymore.
We're doing something a little different this time. I reached out to Diva Satanica of Bloodhunter, former lead vocalist of Nervosa, to discover how she stays so freaking fit. So this is very different from all her other interviews. I hope it shows you a new side to her and turns you into a fan if you're not already. Also, this is my first time doing an interview like this. I'm so lucky it was her. She's like the nicest person ever. Enjoy. Hey Diva, how are you?
How are you, Ramona? All good in here?
Alright, that's good to know. So you've got a few shows lined up. You've got Barcelona, Seville. You excited?
Yeah, we are super excited. It's been like many months since we played our last show, so we are super going to it like crazy people, you know, like super ready to that. And we are really excited about performing new songs and doing new stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into fitness then.
Okay.
What was it like for you, you know, growing up? Were you very sporty? Did your family encourage fitness?
Yeah, my family is not very attached to the sports world, but my dad used to play in a football team, you know, with other people from the neighborhood. So he was like very active, and so I was, because I had a lot of energy when I was a kid, and my mom just encouraged me to go to and choose any activity in school, you know, like swimming, judo, football, also dancing, whatever. She just was like, choose whatever you want and we will figure it out. And I just choose everything. So I was doing a lot of stuff. And during the weekends, we went to our my grandparents' house in the countryside. So I used to swim into the river, take the bike, going to hike. It was an amazing time. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And what was your food like? Was it healthy growing up?
You know, in the north of Spain where I was born, people eat a lot. So my mom was an amazing cooker for sure. And she was cooking nonstop. I was eating nonstop until the point I got sick. So that was a problem, you know. And yeah, she was preparing amazing and healthy food, but it was simply too much. And when I grew old and I was a teenager, I was like stuck at home study, and I used to eat a lot of chocolate and not very healthy stuff. But yeah, when I just moved to my own apartment when I was older, I started to be more careful with the eating thing, you know, like doing 5 meals per day, just good quantity, not too much, not too less, healthy food, and so on. So that worked much better for me.
All right, awesome. When you were a teenager and in your 20s and stuff, did you struggle with, you know, body dysmorphia, or eating disorders? I know I did. To all my current subscribers, you rock my world. If you haven't subscribed and you want to rock my world, you know what to do. Was that something?
Yeah, it was never something like super serious, but when I just became a teenager, I just started, like any girl, to pay more attention to your body and look into other girls. Like, okay, they are thinner than me, I'm eating a lot. I just started to look like a ball, you know. My face was round and round. And yeah, it was a point, like I just looked myself in the mirror and it was like, okay, I'm not liking my body anymore. And I never stopped eating or something like that, or puking or doing something to compensate. But I was like entering this field when you just feel very bad about how you look. And yeah, that led me to some points where I didn't allow my friends to take pictures of myself. Like I got super angry. And yeah, because I didn't like my body image at all. I felt like super ugly and super fat, and I was not. When I look at some pictures from that time with family and stuff like that, it was not that bad, but I felt like it was. You know, I think girls' mind in that issues are kind of something that you really need to take very seriously, because you can go to very dangerous places because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you used to model, you were an alternative model. So did that kind of affect your body image as well?
When I started modeling, it was like in a more alternative way, and my main purpose it was like from a more creative approach, like trying to wear different clothes to perform different roles as a character. And I didn't pay too much attention to my body at that time, but at some point I ended up in some mainstream agency, and yeah, that was kind of bad because I realized that there was a lot of sick people, sick girls in there, like super skinny, paying too much attention to their skin, their hair, everything. They were like, these people that you look at them and you think, wow, they are struggling with something really, really powerful, that they cannot control at all because they were like super obsessed with everything. And that made me open my eyes a bit like, okay, I don't want to spend my life spending so much time taking care of my body because I don't feel beautiful. It's not a healthy issue. It's more because of how do you feel about being good looking and always perfect and stuff like that, and spending a lot of money in clothes and makeup. It was like, I don't want to do that anymore. So I just stopped doing that and try to involve myself into another artistic fields that were helping me to build up something like lead me to the musical field.
Awesome. Okay, it's surprising. When you're inside something, you don't really realize that it's wrong. Everything seems right. It's only when you kind
Yeah.
of have this, you step out of that you realize, oh my God, what was I thinking? I was just completely brainwashed because everyone's doing it and it's just the right thing to do. So it's
Yeah.
cool that you were able to kind of pull yourself out of that.
Yeah, I think that's a problem for young girls and for women in general, because it's the normal thing around us. It's these society values that are changing constantly too, that the more thinner you look, the more beautiful you will be, and that's totally wrong. I mean, we have this on one hand, and on the other hand, there are many people asking for normal beauty, like, you can be whatever you want. And it's super confusing, I think, for young people because they don't really know if mainstream should be like everyone thin and that's beautiful, or you can be whatever you want. Success, it's not translated like the second thing, sometimes for them, and it's very difficult to struggle with that.
True, true. So what was that turning point for you? Was it when you decided to kind of focus on music? Was that the switch?
Yeah, because I started to meet people that didn't really care too much about the body image. They just wear whatever they wanted, and if you just put some, makeup on you, they were like, "Oh, you look beautiful." That's it. You have a new shirt. That's beautiful, but something super normal. And they were more like into enjoying life in general, music, going to see shows, new bands, discovering new music, and nothing to do about body image. So it was like meeting very different people from very different styles, and that worked for me in a way. Like, okay, to build this self acceptance and work on just be myself.
I'm really glad that you were able to kind of shift your focus to just something else other
Yeah,
than kind of that's awesome.
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
there are days when you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself and it's like, what the fuck is this person in the mirror? But you don't like yourself, but you have to accept I can be ugly today. I can look tired. It's totally fine. It's not something that you can control sometimes. So I think that's a message for young girls. Like, you're not gonna be perfect 100% of all your life.
yeah, and do you find that as you're getting older, you kind of care less?
Uh, Yeah, maybe because I started to think and get worried about different stuff. Like when you grow old, you have other problems, and if you can focus on that, you just stay in the healthy side, in the healthy zone. But you get other problems like anxiety disorders or stuff like that because you get stressed with everything. And I think I was switching from one side to the other, like being worried about the body image and then being worried about being stressed like crazy, and yeah, I try to stay calm and try now to work in a different schedule for myself that works better than before. But it's difficult because when you want to do so many things at the same time, it's like what can I stop doing? you know it's like I want to do this and I want to do this too, so why I have to choose? But you need to set some boundaries at some point just to chill a bit. And there were times in my life when I spent like 4 months without visiting my family, or going for a coffee with a friend, nothing like that. I didn't have like social life, nothing, because I was working, working, working all the time. That's not healthy.
Yeah, and I think just learning to say no is it's difficult, but it just you have to.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Otherwise, you just break into, it's like it's not sustainable for
Yeah.
health.
Yeah. So did you ever smoke or do drugs?
No, because I have a lot of breath issues. When I was a kid, I had asthma and a lot of problems with my breathing system. So, typical thing when you're in high school and you go with a friend and you just try a cigarette to know how it feels. But it was not something that I was super interested in, and also it made me feel sick. So, I just didn't do it anymore. And I never used drugs. And about drinking, probably one cocktail or two, but it's like that feeling of the hangover the following day and losing time, losing an entire day because you feel sick. It's horrible. Doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I hate that
Yeah.
after feeling. I mean, it was enough for me to just kick the habit. Not that I had a habit, but it was just like, once in a while I'd have the wine and then my entire day would just go. I was not doing anything the next
Yeah.
day, would just feel like shit, so it's just not worth it.
Especially when you're on tour, you cannot do that. I mean, if you're having two shows, it's okay. Yeah, you just can enjoy a drink after show and it's totally fine. But when you're on tour for 2 months, that's impossible because you don't have enough sleep, you don't have time to rest, you don't have time to just chill a bit. So it's like if I drink and I get sick, tomorrow I have to perform again and I won't be able to sleep. And no, it's like a vicious circle that you should escape.
Yeah, yeah. So you are absolutely killer on stage. Is there anything you do specifically, to have that kind of insane energy?
Oh, thank you. You know, I've been working a lot on that because I was super worried. Like what I'm doing, it's super physical. You need a lot of strength in your diaphragm, and you need a lot of power and energy. So I really wanted to do everything that I do, but making it look like almost effortless. And so the people can enjoy it with you actually, because if they are seeing that you're struggling, nobody's gonna enjoy that. But inside of me, I'm dying, I'm choking many times. But I just try, I pretend that I'm fine and that I look fierce and just trying to perform the entire thing, like getting inside of the character.
Can't tell at all. I mean, you're headbanging, you're, running from one side to the other, you're freaking screaming. Like, how is she doing all of that? It's amazing.
Oh, it took me a lot of years to get to that point. And also sports helped me a lot because you need to build a good resistance, and it's heavy because when you feel tired or if you don't sleep, it's kind of challenging. But yeah.
Cool. And do you see a lot of artists and performers as well, kind of, being more healthy now as compared to the past?
Oh yeah, it's super funny to see that the more extreme they sound, the more healthy they are. Like most part of extreme metal singers, they are vegans or vegetarians, or they stand for the rights of for animals or human rights, whatever. They are super like empathetic people, and they are healthy in this way that they take care of their body image, but not from the good looking side. It's like more into staying healthy, having a good resistance for having an amazing performance on stage. It's more in that direction, and I really enjoy that. Yeah.
I remember seeing an interview from with Heidi from Butcher Babies, and she said that in the past people would kind of come up to them and ask them if they wanted, to take drugs and stuff, but that's kind of declined over the years, and now it's just stupid, like, for someone to do that. Like, it's just not normal anymore.
I mean, people is just getting healthier and healthier, and I think of course you can find some rock stars and people from some kind of scenes that they keep on going with that lifestyle, but it's not the common thing anymore. People just want to enjoy and live life and not being sick the entire week because of drinking.
How do you overcome, the challenges of touring?
Well, for this last tour, I remember the first tour that I did with, for example, with Nervosa, when I joined the band, it was a 5 weeks tour in Europe. It was with a tour bus, so it was kind of easy because you could sleep at any time that you wanted. But I was super worried that it's going to be a lot of shows, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to perform every single day at the same level. So I just made a super tight schedule, trying to rehearse every day, doing my workout routine every day, going for a walk with my dog every day. It was like that. I got up at 6, I went to work, I got home back like at 4 p.m., then going for a walk, doing some lessons, then the rehearsals, then going for a walk. It was like a working out routine, everything at the same time. And it was exhausting, but it really worked because I had this discipline, every single day. And then it was kind of easier for me to keep on going that way on tour. Obviously, when I'm on tour and it's not like that, it's traveling by plane all the time. You don't have time to sleep. It's like sleeping 2 hours per day and performing the same night. So you don't have pretty much time to doing the workout or stuff like that. So for the last tour, for example, I did nothing at all. I was just trying to sleep in a corner when I could, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but your body is just incredible. Like, it looks like you train every day. You've got these abs going on. You're just like in really, really good shape. You look amazing.
Look, we have our tricks because, for example, I don't like my legs pretty much or my arms because I feel like they are fat. Look, ladies, we are sick in the brain about that. I really know that it's not super fat, but I don't like them. So I just don't wear like t-shirts or stuff like that because I don't feel like comfortable on stage. For example, with the abs, it's okay because I have to train a lot, and obviously the abs have been there always because I always been like super active, and this part of me is okay. So I have no problems to show them on stage, and actually I need to do it because I sweat a lot. That's why I wear like short shirts. But for example, with jeans, it's the same. I always wear jeans that are like high waist, because I don't feel like comfortable like moving, and imagine that they see my ass, or I don't like that, or when you start worried about this part of your body like popping out from the jeans. So yeah, you find your tricks, it's not everything so amazing. And obviously the pictures, you just post what you like the most.
You learn. I think high-waisted pants are just like the freaking best invention ever.
It's amazing. I don't want to wear anything else.
Right?
On stage, that's it. That's my thing.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you look really good. Really good. Whatever you're doing is working.
Oh, thank you so much.
Right, so what kind of physical activities do you enjoy the most?
Walking, it's my favorite thing. It's like being alone with your thoughts and enjoying the landscape. I really like that because it allows me to stop for a while, this madness inside of my head. So I really like walking. It's my first thing. And then I like a lot of sports, but what I was doing during the pandemic situation, it was like the same training that in my gym, but I had to stop going because of the pandemic. And they had this online training that it was like the same. They combine like some fitness with boxing, which I really adore, and some barre, which is something between ballet and fitness. That it's super hard, but it's amazing. It builds your body like it defines every single muscle on your body. So you should try that if you want.
Yeah, I should.
It's super amazing. It's super heavy, but then you feel super okay, and it's like very good also for your mind balance, because you just get focused on doing something and you just stop about worrying about stuff and things like that. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think walking is like the most underrated stress reliever. It's
Of
amazing.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cheap,
So,
it
yeah.
works. So yeah, walking is
And
great.
you live in around the countryside, so you probably have some really nice views and stuff.
Yeah. I live like it's like 40 kilometers from the city center in Madrid, and it's like in the middle of the mountains. So you just listen to the birds singing, or you can go across to the river. It's amazing. I really like that.
That's awesome. So you're not boxing anymore then. Do you still
You know,
do?
I had to stop because of the touring, because I came back home in November, I think, and then my mom got sick, so I have to be with her in the hospital for 2 months. And now I'm just trying to get back to my daily routine, finding a good schedule that allows me to rehearse, give some lessons, working out, paying attention to the dog, and everything at the same time, but in a healthier way, not to be so stressed.
Yeah. Is your mom okay now?
Oh no, she's not. She passed away 1 month ago, but yeah,
I'm so sorry.
thank you. But it was for the best, because she was suffering and having a super rough time, and I didn't want that for her. So, it's hard because it's your mom, but
Yeah.
yeah, it has to be that way.
You're a warrior.
No, she was. She was. I learned that from her, I think.
Cool. Okay. So, all right. So, what is your diet like now? Like, have you made any drastic changes, or are you kind of, just eating everything? Any vegan or vegetarian special diets, anything
Hmm.
like this? Or
I love eating. As a Spanish, I love food, everything. But I must say that from 1 year and a half, I became vegetarian to start at some point. And yeah, I am just you just have this click on your mind, like you start watching the news and you see all those labs torturing animals and stuff, and I just realized at some point, like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. So I quit eating meat. I quit eating drinking milk, and it was going like step by step. And I realized that now I'm eating healthier than ever, probably. I get a lot of protein from different food, actually. And even for my boyfriend, that he was like, okay, I like meat anyways, but I will eat whatever you prepare for you too. So at some point he was like, I'm getting thinner because of this food. And it was awesome, because we have this idea, especially in countries like Mediterranean countries like Spain, Portugal, Italy. We are super eat meters, and that's horrible in a way for animals, of course, but because that's totally wrong. You don't need to eat so much meat to be healthy and strong. And
yeah.
we have to learn a lot about eating behaviors, much more than apart from eating meat. You have a lot of amazing stuff.
Yeah, and I'm seeing now, like recently, as compared to say 5 years ago, there's just more options, like for vegetarians and vegans and stuff. Like there's a lot of options now, so I think it's easier to make that
Yeah.
switch. Yeah,
Yeah, for example, in my hometown, I was born in the northwest of Spain. It's not that easy. You go to the supermarket and you don't have anything vegan apart from
beans.
almond milk, stuff like that, and beans. Yeah, but you don't find easily soy or something like that. But for example, here where I live, it's not the city center in Madrid, and you have a lot of stuff. Like the other day, we were having lunch in it was a restaurant with people from Honduras or something like that, and they were preparing tacos, and they had a lot of
Yeah.
vegan meals. Like wow, this is super nice because this is a very small village, and you go to the supermarket and you have all these vegan brands like the Vegan Butcher, Eura, all this cool stuff. It's amazing. It's like super easy now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, it kind of makes it easier for people to switch and, just cut down, at least cut down
Yeah,
on meat. Yeah, that's cool. All
yeah,
right.
just give it a try. That's very cool. Yeah.
So, how do you deal with negativity or hate? And I'm sure you've kind of received that as a singer.
All of us, all of us,
Yeah.
um, technology is amazing in a way, but social medias are like a dangerous weapon because there are sometimes people that just think that they can speak out their minds and say whatever they want, and that's not good at all because there's this thing in Instagram, Twitter, whatever, that you can denounce some people for being rough to you, but nothing happens. So people just keep on going like that. And I'm not speaking about, I don't like your music. That's totally fine. But you look like a pig, you must die. That's dangerous. I never received something so aggressive.
Yeah.
But especially when I started singing, people who just don't get familiar with the register or never listen to extreme metal, they just didn't understand. So for some of them, they just make fun of you or stuff like that. And in the beginning, it was kind of hard because I was trying to prove myself that I could do that. And there was some people that was making fun of you, like all my efforts going to the flash. But yeah, at some point you just realize that there are people that are trying to put you down, for any reason, because they don't feel happy, because they don't have nothing else to do, and you just have to pay more attention to other stuff. Like okay, this maybe can help me to keep on working because I'm not saying that they are right about what they are saying, but maybe I should just get focused on being better or improve my skills so I can prove I can actually be good at this. And sometimes it's the same with good comments also because people just appreciate what you do and they just say, oh, you are beautiful and whatever. And that's not important. It has the same level of importance for me. Someone that tells you that you are the best, that you are the worst, is the same.
And it must have been really hard. I think at the beginning is the hardest, like when you're just trying to make your mark. And then I think some kind of criticism is fine. It helps you, grow or,
Of course.
motivates you and stuff. But I mean, some people are just outright shit.
Yeah. I mean, when it's something something constructive from a good point, like you should work on this, or I think your goals are not very sharp, or something like that, that's totally fine. And I receive some comments like that, and I totally accept them. And it's like, okay, let's go for it. In the beginning, you get mad, like, why are you telling this? Because you just put a lot of work and effort into it. But yeah, it's not always good, and you have to keep on working, and that helps.
Yeah. That's awesome that you just keep trucking on. I mean, it doesn't affect you in that sense. That's good.
There are days that you just don't want to get up from bed. It's like, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this anymore. When you're stuck with something that don't really work, or you
Yeah.
want to try something different, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But getting mad doesn't fix the problem for sure. So you just have to get up, clap in your face, and keep
Yeah,
on
I
going.
think that is the mark of a great, artist. You just freaking keep going, no matter, whatever shit gets thrown at you. You just, it's another day, you get up, you keep going. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, life is too short for being complaining all the time. So just do something good for you and enjoy it.
Yeah. Any message to the world?
Ooh, that's tough. Okay, so yeah, I think speaking about that you were saying, some minutes before. It's just about that. Just guys, don't give up if you have a dream or something that you really like to achieve. Just go for it. Work hard. Never give up. Don't stop trying, and just don't care about the negative comments and stuff. Just focus on becoming a better version of yourself and keep on going. That's it.
Awesome, right. Thank you so much. It was such an honor. And I
Oh,
really,
thank
really
you.
hope to see you live soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramona. It's been
Yeah.
amazing. Beautiful questions. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that. What's next? Go give Diva a follow. All her links are in the description.